Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you for watching, for liking, for sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And before I continue, I want to say a big thank you to Hyundai for allowing me to have these vehicles in my home test area for me to review, to give you my honest and unbiased opinion. Now, what do I have next to me? This is the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. This is, of course, the fourth generation of the Tucson, which received basically a facelift in 2025. So what includes is a new face, new grille, slightly revised bumper, and of course a new dashboard and technology. I'm gonna go over everything, talk about it. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. Okay, let's talk 2025 Hyundai Tucson. This model is the hybrid in limited form, which is the highest and most expensive version you can get the Tucson in hybrid. Now, let's start with the changes up front. As you guys can see, I have the turn signal turned on, which Hyundai calls the geometric design, which came out initially in 2022 when the Tucson received its major facelift. And they just made the grille and front end a little bit more bolder, as you guys can see, closely related to its sibling, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. So the geometric LED daytime running lights have been separated a little bit. And as you guys can see, Hyundai's very cool full LED turn signal up front. It's nice, and the headlights are down there. Hyundai redesigned a little bit the Hyundai H a little bit, and this trim is a little bit blacked out, which is very nice. Front end is a little bit more revised. You got integrated parking sensors there. No fog lights in this trim. Those are the low beams, that's the high beam. And walking around it, this color, just before I forget, it's called shimmering silver. That's the name of the color, which is just basically silver. My tester is sitting on 19-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin tires. I believe they are Primacy tires. Yep, they are. So Michelin Primacy tires, 235/55 on Hyundai's very sculpted 19-inch wheels. Parking sensors all over the front of the bumper. Design-wise, the changes were very minor because the Hyundai Tucson wasn't a bad-looking SUV. Very tech-forward and feature. Let me just zoom out a little bit there. And same design as the previous generation. Like the saying says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My tester has a 360 camera, so there is a camera underneath each mirror and one in front of the grille. This one has black roof rails. And overall, the Hyundai Tucson, of course, being the Hyundai's bestseller, Hyundai's going to be very careful not to screw up the design. And the lights are flickering on camera, but they don't flicker. They're not flicker in real life. That's just the way, unfortunately, it looks like. Turn signals are on the bottom, as you guys can see, and reverse lights. These are incandescent, they're not LED. I wish Hyundai moves away from putting the turn signals and the reverse lights on the bumper, because someone can rear end you and there's your signals and backup lights gone. I believe the next version should have them integrated into the taillights, make it an LED unit just like the front end. I love the absolute lighting, the lighting technology, the giant light bar that goes across, very nice. Nicely integrated hidden away rear wiper underneath the spoiler. And the Hyundai logo is kind of like a ghost image in there. And now that we're back here, let's take a look at the cargo area of the Hyundai Tucson. Not the largest in the segment, but very close to its competitor, the Honda CR-V. Very large space behind the seat. No spare tire, but you do have a tire mobility kit right there in case you have a flat. These seats do fold down completely, so you can just press that like so, and to expand your cargo capability, both seats, and they're both reclining, which I'll go over a little bit in the interior section. You do have a 12-volt power outlet right here to plug in anything you want, any tire inflator, accessories, and things of that nature. This is also a 2-tier cargo system, which means that you can lower it. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Bear with me. So you can just do this. You can pull it out and then put it underneath like so, and then you get like a subfloor extra storage. So if you have something long and awkward, it won't be hitting the tailgate. It'll just sit right here perfectly, and you don't have any problems with weird items. And you do have little cubbies on the side, which you can remove this. Of course, you can carry stuff there like a gallon of milk or whatever. You do have nice built-in tie hooks all over the cargo. All right, let's take a look at the interior, the technology, the tech, and then we go for a quick drive of this 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. But before we do that, let's take a look at the powertrain of this 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at what's powering the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Very much of the same. On the left hand side here, you have a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, of course paired to an electric motor, and a 6-speed automatic. Yes, no CVT here. And a traditional mechanical all-wheel drive. What that means is there is a drive shaft connecting the rear wheels, unlike its competitors, which uses an electric motor independent from the front. No, not here. This is a traditional all-wheel drive system, a traditional transmission, so it will feel like a normal vehicle when you drive it up and down. Total system power, power is 231 horsepower and 258 pounds-feet of torque. And I can report that the car is not slow at all, especially merging and passing, which we'll go over later in the driving session of the video. Nothing crazy. Those bright orange cables you see, those are part of the cables that go to the electric battery. You have the inverter here. Very serviceable engine bay, nothing crazy, but with Hyundai's industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, you don't have to worry about anything for a very long time. So that's pretty much it under the hood. Let's take a look at the interior, the tech, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Before we take a look at the interior, let's show Hyundai's very unique and industry-leading, very unique trick. So this is, but by the way, this is what the key looks like in the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. You got the Hyundai logo integrated there. You got lock, unlock, remote start, and panic. And on the side, you have the opener for the hatch. And this right here, if you press and hold this button, the vehicle will slowly start moving forward, which is definitely a crowd pleaser, but it freaks out if you start moving, or if you're too far from it, it will not, it will stop, as you guys saw. But as you can see, there's nobody inside the car, which is very, very cool. And there it stops again. And of course, to move it back, just press and hold the opposite button. And of course, the pedestrian warning chime that you're hearing, which lives in front of the front speaker, is for people can hear you coming. All right, let's take a look at the engine bay. Then we go into the interior, the tech, and then we'll go for my quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the interior of the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Getting in is a very simple affair. You just put your hand on the door handle like so. It unlocks. And let's talk about fit and finish. Absolutely very nice. Very nice interior, very pleasant. My tester is finished in, they call gray on gray, which looks very, very nice. But unfortunately, I think it gets dirty very quickly. This vehicle has 3,700 miles. And as you can see, being a test vehicle from Hyundai, it's already a little dirty. Beautiful though, I gotta say. I will probably deal with cleaning it up to have this interior, because it looks very premium, very lively. Now back to the door panels. You do have a little bit of stitching here with this faux leather Materials soft. You have the controls for your memory seats for 2 drivers, so which remembers the mirror and the seat. And moving on, you have unfortunately a little bit of piano black here in the door panel. Not my personal favorite, especially a high traffic touch area like this. It does look pretty, but it will show fingerprint easily, unfortunately. Of course, automatic up and down windows. Only the front 2 are automatic, so oddly enough, not the rear ones, which is interesting. Deep pockets here. You can put, of course, water bottles and stuff like that. You have the Hyundai Tucson door sill in this one. Of course, power seat, 2-way lumbar support. Very comfortable seat, I may add. They're both heated and ventilated. And let's step inside the Hyundai Tucson. And in front of me, you see 2 12.3-inch displays. You have one here for the driver and for infotainment duties. Let me put my foot on the brake and it started. Push the button right here. And it gives you a little welcome chime that you can, of course, disable. And these are the profiles that you can select. Fun fact about the profiles, you can actually set them up and use your fingerprint. Yes, that's right. You can use your fingerprint right here for security. You touch this and it will basically set up, go back to all your memory settings, radio presets, all your safety stuff, pretty much the entire car, how you had it before a particular other driver. And in front of me, oh, and before I continue, I'm jumping all over the place here. New for 2025, Hyundai removed the H from the steering wheel, which they're doing this in pretty much all their cars. And let me turn on the light here so you guys can see a little bit better. And basically, they just removed it and included these 4 little dots, which Hyundai is Morse code. Hyundai Morse code. On the left side of the steering wheel, you do have the controls for the Hyundai Smart Driving Assist cruise control, which of course do lane mitigation, lane keep assist, and full automatic, of course, steering, braking. There's your guidance, steering, and on the right hand side is your controls for your media. So you have, let me turn the light off there. You have, of course, your mode selector, voice command, track forward, backwards, volume up and down, your favorites, pick up and hang up right here. And this little guy that you see, which on camera looks like 2 little mean eyes looking at you, are 2 forward sensors that basically pay attention to you. Make sure you're paying attention to the road and nothing else, which we'll demonstrate later. And very nicely, it would not disengage the cruise control as long as you're paying attention to the road, which is a very, very cool feature. Most systems will yell at you to hold the steering wheel and things of that nature, but not here. It will just continue to work as intended. The graphics are very nice. That little middle screen, you could of course customize it with this button right here, and you can keep cycling through. There's the automatic cruise control screen. This is the what the hybrid system's doing. Trip computer 1, 2. There's the MPG that I've been getting, about 29 miles per gallon. It makes highway and city. There's a engine temperature gauge, tire pressure monitor, but the power distribution is doing, so it tells you if it's front wheel drive, all wheel drive, and that's pretty much it. The instrument cluster can be changed, the way it looks, based on the drive mode. So right now I have it to my mode. So if I go to snow, it changes. If I go to eco, it also changes color. Sporty, it adds that. This is right now set into the simple display, but you can of course go into the infotainment and change them a little bit. Also, so let's go over the changes for 2025. So the whole dashboard is brand new, as you guys can see. Of course, the dual 12.3-inch screens. You do have a nice little cubby there that you can throw things there, which is cool. Nice little helper cubby. Think about families and whatever. And moving on to the center console, you do have a new wireless charging pad, which is very nice. Here you can put, of course, your devices, physical controls to turn on. You got your center lock there, drive modes, auto brake hold. There's a blank downhill assist that activates the front 360 camera. which is nice. So you can, of course, it's just telling me that there, and then you can, of course, do different modes. So you can do like that. That's the front view, and then this is the back view, and this is the little 3D view of the car, so you can just spin around and it shows you the car, which is very, very neat and very, very cool. I don't know if you can change the color of the car. I don't think you can. That would be very cool if you can match it to your existing car. But nonetheless, very useful feature. And that also activates the park assist. So if you're in the car, you press and hold it. What it's doing now, remote parking assist, which I was playing with outside the car, this is where you can park the car with the key without you being in the car, which is very cool and useful for those tight driveways or parking spots. This is the home screen. So that's what pretty much what it looks like on the home screen. It shows you a map, the media, phone projection, and this is also Hyundai's new infotainment system, which is updated, which now includes wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which is very, very very useful, and thank you, Hyundai, for doing that. Very updated controls. This is Hyundai Pay, which is basically, according to Hyundai, you can set this up for parking garages, toll booths, and things of that nature. I don't know how that works exactly, or which retailers are participating in this. That's something that I have to be determined, but nonetheless very cool. Vehicle diagnostics. So in here, of course, it'll go into vehicle diagnostics and checking the systems. I mean, sure, oil level and things of that nature. Unfortunately, it can't do it now because maybe it doesn't have data, which is fine. Service reminder. So here, of course, you can set up your service schedule, intervals, notifications, satellite radio. HD radio data. So it does check traffic, radar for fuel prices, which of course is included with the car when you buy it brand new. Notifications, owner's manual, which just gives you a QR code so you can scan it and see it on your phone. It does have its own native navigation. So, and moving on back to the center console, you do have physical controls for the volume knob right here, power on and off for the radio, home, map, search, media. So if you do home, this is the home screen, map. It goes into the native navigation system. And you do search, so it opens a keypad, media, so you can select pretty much all the different media options that you have. Track seek forward, favorites. So if you set up your favorites for whatever, radio stations, whatever that case may be, and then the setup button, so you can go into the setup and customize the car completely. Now that we're back to the setup, now we're in the setup mode, so I'm going to show you what the cluster looks like. So right now I have it in, the theme is called Simple, as you guys can see. And you can do Classic, which of course shows traditional needles and dials. And then if you change it to different drive modes, it will change the cluster. So Eco mode changes the color. Sport mode gets a little racier and red and stuff like that, and actually shows little needles. My Drive just shows that, which is very cool. And I like the fact that Hyundai gives you the flexibility of customizing, a lot of customization for this car, which is cool. In-vehicle hotspot, so of course you can do hotspot, turn on your hotspot if the car has it. If you have the data for it, excuse me, there it is. So you can do vehicle hotspot, so you can connect devices, which is very cool and useful. Sound settings, general, pretty much everything in here is straightforward, nothing crazy or complicated. And this is a big deal because the other previous generation, the controls were a little different and a little cumbersome to you. It had actual sliders for the temperature, which is not good, and it was kind of in an awkward position. New for 2025, this whole center stack here is different. So you have, of course, the controls for this, the heated and cool the seats, excuse me. Temperature, of course, the heated steering wheel, 2 levels. Defrost and things like that. Of course, dual passenger. And something unique and cool in this car, which is mostly borrowed from Hyundai's EVs, is when you click on driver only, it will shut off the climate control for the passengers. It will only blow air to the driver to reduce the consumption or fuel economy consumption. And on here you do have, under here you have a nice little cubby, which is nice. And the center console, let me turn on the light here. Center console is big, decent sized center console, nothing crazy. You do have another little cubby here, I guess for keys or whatever you want to put in there. Maybe put a phone when it's not being charged. And of course, this vehicle does have a massive panoramic sunroof, which is very nice. And it doesn't open, unfortunately, more than that, but that's pretty much it. And of course, it does have also a power shade. As you guys can see, it's coming to a close. And of course, up here you do have the controls for your lighting, so you can turn on and off the lights. Hyundai's Blue Link, SOS, and that's pretty much it. Oddly, actually, there is no sunglass holder, which is interesting. Mirrors auto dimming, built-in home link controls right there, and that's pretty much it up front. Oh, and this vehicle does have a head-up display. Let me see if I can focus. There it is. You see the floating 0 right there, so it gives you driver assistance information, turn-by-turn navigation with the native navigation, with CarPlay and Android Auto. So basically, it gives you information galore, as much as you possibly need. And that's pretty much it at the front. Wipers are automatic. Of course, right now, and it tells you if they're off. You set auto, it gives you one courtesy wipe. And my personal favorite, if you turn on the turn signals, any Hyundai vehicle that has the 360 camera, it gives you the blind spot warning camera, which is genius. And what that does is it just activates the blind spot warning camera, the 360 camera from each mirror, which is genius. It does it for either side and eliminates the guessing game of changing lanes or merging who's in your blind spot or not. All right. Oh, and last but not least is down here you do have USB-C, so you can set it to data and charge only, data and charge, or charge only, and you have another one, and traditional cigarette style 12-volt power outlet right there. Center glove box is decent size. I actually put some actual gloves in a glove box, which most people don't do, but that's fine. And that's pretty much it in terms of the front. Let's move on to the back. Oh, and on the left hand side you have, of course, control for the dimmer switches here to open and close the rear hatch, traction control, parking brake, and that's pretty much it. All right, let's take a look at the back seat, the technology back there, the comforts, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the back of the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Oh, and also, before I get back to, I do like this little design feature right there. Very stylish, very sleek and different. Very, very cool. And just because you're in the back, Hyundai did not skimp on materials. Exactly the same materials as in the front. Beautiful fabric here, very nice. This vehicle does have heated seats in the back, so 3 levels for the heated seats are mounted on the door. Of course, you got the windows. The seats are reclinable, so you can, of course, you can recline them pressing this lever right here, which I'll demonstrate shortly. And let's step inside. So I am 5'8", and the seat is adjusted to how I drive. I'm 5'8". I'm very comfortable. A lot of headroom here. And let me quickly spin the camera around. As you guys can see, I have plenty of leg room. Very comfortable. And like I mentioned, the seat can be reclined to a very almost insane degree of reclinability, which is very nice and comfortable for your passengers here. All right, so let's spin the camera back around and let's go over the center control. The center back here, of course, you have center air vents. You have 2 USB-C ports down there, 2 pockets behind each seat right there. No sun visor, which is interesting, but that's something that Hyundai should add for future versions of the Hyundai Tucson. And there's a look at the very, very nice and airy panoramic glass sunroof, which is very nice, and it makes the cabin feel a little bigger. You do have extra cup holders right here in the center console, but you do have one in each door pocket. So total of 4 cup holders right here in case you have somebody sitting in the middle seat. And let me turn off the light real quick so you guys can see a view of the infotainment there and the new dashboard, which is very, very classy looking. All right, let's take a look. Excuse me, let's take this 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid for my first drive and impression. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's take the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid for my first drive and final thoughts. I forgot to mention earlier, it might be hard to pick up on camera, but the wireless charger has a nicely integrated little status light here, which is genius. This way you don't have to be guessing, oh my god, is my phone charged or not. Hyundai just conveniently placed it there to allow you to see that your phone is charged. All right, I have the car in what's called My Mode, which Hyundai allows you to customize, set up your own driving style. So I've been getting between 29 and 33 miles per gallon, which is excellent. And I have the hybrid screen up so you guys can see that. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Future me will know that later when I'm putting this video together for you guys, when I'm editing it. But overall, this vehicle is very efficient. Because, like I mentioned, it has a traditional transmission and mechanical all-wheel drive system. It feels like a normal car. It doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel completely out of place, and it is very, very smooth, just like the previous version that I got to review of the hybrid version. Very smooth, especially for something that has 19-inch wheels. The car is very, very smooth and very compliant, especially here in my New York horrible roads that I live in. Not too bad. But if I have to replace one of my vehicles, which is I have an SUV that's not hybrid, I will definitely replace it with this. This will be on my short list. But my current car is getting a makeover soon, which hopefully, based on what it looks like and the specs and the technology, and of course the price, I can make an intelligent decision and decide to upgrade to it, if my budget allows me to do so. But overall, though, this is a very nice product. This is why is Hyundai's best-selling vehicle, and there's a reason for it, because it's a good product. It's well made. If I have to complain, my complaints are very small, because it's part of doing these videos for YouTube. We have to critique the small things that most people are not going to care about. For me, I believe Hyundai should have made, first of all, definitely remove the turn signals and reverse lights from the bumper. That has to go. It can't be, because if somebody gets rear-ended or somebody backs into something, there goes your reverse lights and your turn signals. And they should be LED just like the front are. That would be my minor complaint. Other minor complaint, oddly enough, there is no power folding mirrors, excuse me, for this one. And there is no automatic auto up and down for the rear windows, which is oddly missing. Not the end of the world, not big deal, but these are things that I'm just pointing out as a minor complaint for myself. The noise you're hearing is probably my equipment, which is laying on the floor back there. But let's get into the highway here. Keep in mind, I have it in normal mode, and you don't have to change it or anything, but just stepping on it, the little 1.6 is definitely making its presence known, and no fuss, no drama. And I'll demonstrate what the automated cruise control does. Like I said, I will set it up, hands off the wheel and pedals, and the car, as long as I keep looking forward and not down or anything like that, it will completely drive itself like it's doing so right now. I don't have to do anything. So this is very useful, especially for a long drive or you have a long commute. You could just sit here, and it does an excellent job of keeping you in the lanes and steady, which is very good. Also, Hyundai's automated cruise control, once it's on major highways, so for example like I-95 and things of that nature, it will enable a logo here that says HDA, Hyundai Driving Assist, and that will completely take over also and mitigate the speed based on the speed limit that the camera can see, which is useful. So kind of like a little bit of a built-in ticket avoiding system for your car. But as you guys can see, I'm not completely driving. My feet are not on the gas, which is awesome. And you could just sit here and drive, let the car do itself. Also, before I close out my video, one thing that, contrary to popular belief, people think that hybrids only shine mostly in stop and go traffic. That partly true, but at the same time, if this battery is charged and the car feels that you have enough juice, it will shut off the engine and it will drive in electric only, even at 60 miles per hour that I'm doing. And that's when you see the fuel economy savings come into play, which is excellent. If I turn it back off now, I just turn it off, I take over control. See, right now it's just showing me an indicator telling me that it's in EV mode as we speak. So, and you can see that here by the little display that the gas engine, which will be this here, is completely off. Another neat feature is these paddles work also for regen braking. What does that mean? That means that you tell the car to use the electric motor to brake for you instead of using traditional brakes. Long term, your traditional brakes will last a long time. So if I press it 1, 2, 3, there's 3 levels. Hard to pick up on camera, but there's little levels there, and which is super cool and super useful when it comes to saving energy, of course, saving fuel economy and things of that nature. And good thing about also this car is it runs on regular. You don't have to put premium, you don't have to do anything, just regular. Hyundai will also give you, I believe, first 2 years or 3 years of free maintenance included with every vehicle purchase. So oil changes, tire rotation, things of that nature with your Hyundai purchase. And another cool thing, so when you enable that camera, let me see, yep, you have to do it when you're not moving. So as you can see in the video, it helps you come into parking spots, so you can kind of get a clear view of the spaces. Of course, the sensors kick in. Super useful feature. And that's pretty much it. This has been my first drive and full review of the 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Thank you all again for watching, for liking, for sharing my videos. And of course, thank you Hyundai for allowing me to have these cars in my home test area for me to review. If you like, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.